John Fanta, Jeff Goodman, Rob Douster with you as we head to Fayetteville. Missouri coming off a 110-98 win over Alabama. It was a statement maker, but timing is everything in conference play. And you thought coming into tonight that if Arkansas was going to get that move-the-needle bubble win, maybe this was their opportunity. They've been playing better. They're at home. Missouri's riding a high. Arkansas does it. 92-85, a big quad one win. Arkansas now has 4 of those. They're 16-11, but more importantly, they just beat Missouri. What does this win mean for John Calipari?
Well, we had him in our Fielding 68 every Monday and Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern.
Nice plug.
We had him right outside of first 4 out. So this win was critical for them because now you've got the win at Kentucky, this win, and a win at Texas. Now you've got so many opportunities in the SEC. I mean, their resume still isn't very impressive, but so many opportunities that if you pick off a few, you're going to end up getting in. They're 4 games under 500 right now in league play. And as long as they stay that way, I think they absolutely get in. And the key tonight,
and they should be able to stay that way, right?
Yeah,
look at their schedule the rest of the way. Texas at home, at South Carolina, right? Both of those should be wins.
Just can't lose to the Gamecocks on the road.
At Vanderbilt, which Texas did tonight, at Vanderbilt and the Mississippi State at home.
Sure, you should win 3 of the 4.
They should very easily, not very easily. They should win 3 of those 4.
If you win 3 of the 4, you're not in the first 4. If you win 2 of the 4, you might be in the first 4, depending on what you do in the SEC tournament. But the biggest key tonight was Big Z. Big Z came to play, and they're different when he makes shots. Again, the guards are good, right? Like, you're going to get something now out of Nelly Davis for the most part. Without Boogie Flan, he's been much better. I actually want to give DJ Wagner credit because I think he has gotten better this year. He's never going to be the player that people wanted him to be or made him out to be in high school when he was the number 1 player in the country. But I think he has taken a step, and he knows kind of who he is now instead of trying to be something that he's not. But I think, again, Big Z, they got to get something from their bigs.
Well, you know what it was? The way that they've kind of built this team is, all right, we're going to space the floor. We got all these guys that can get to the basket, and you're not going to be able to have a rim protector because that big 7'1" goof
out there shooting threes.
He's going to knock down all those threes. And the other night against
he was like 0 for 9.
Who was that? Was it against Alabama? It was Alabama. Yeah. No, who'd they play? I can't remember who it was. But because he was 0 for 9 from 3. He didn't make a single shot. And that's part of why they were not – it was Auburn. That's why they weren't able to win that game. But, look, I'll tell you this, and I say this all the time. At the end of the day, there is no actual – like, we could sit here. We could talk about the net. We could talk about KenPom. We could talk about quad whatever victories, right? At the end of the day, the bracket is made by 10 human beings – sitting in a room around a table just like this with a laptop here, a bunch of papers here, phones over here, nitty-gritty sheets. And those human beings are going to be in that room and they're going to make – they are nitty-gritty sheets. They're going to make a list of who they want to be in the tournament. And you cannot tell me that there isn't some kind of inherent bias, whether or not they're making it – whether or not it's intentional –
if they can validate, if they can justify putting John Calipari and Arkansas in the field, they will absolutely put them in the field.
Well, they just got their justification today because Missouri was coming off a massive win. They're getting a lot of pub. They're still going to be in the top 20. It's now hovering around the top 15 even after a road loss to Arkansas because they beat Alabama and put 110 points on them. Here's the thing. If you look at the bubble is soft. This bubble is proving why the NCAA tournament getting expanded is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it's not just because the name of this network is the Field of 68. Arkansas has 4 quad 1 wins. If you look at the other teams on the bubble, some of them have none. SMU being one of them.
Our first 2 teams out of the field. Right. Our first 2 teams out of the field on Friday when we did Fielding 68 every Monday and Friday, 5 p.m. On the Field of 68 YouTube channel. The first 2 teams out were VCU and SMU. VCU, I got it right here. 0-1 in quad 1 games, 7-3 in quad 2 games with a quad 4 loss to the Seton Hall Pirates. SMU, 0-5 in quad 1.
SMU is in.
SMU is in. All right, SMU is in one of the playing games.
They shouldn't be.
0-5 in quad 1 games, 7-2 in quad 2 games. No, but their best win is against Pitt.
That's not
their best win is against Pitt.
I mean, it shouldn't even be allowed. If you haven't beaten a tournament team, an at-large tournament team,
they're
shouldn't be allowed to play in the tournament.
How is their resume any different than a mid-major?
It's not. I'd rather see Drake. Give me Drake if they lose in the championship game of the Valley.
Or Akron.
Over SMU. Or Akron, right. Because they didn't have the opportunities. And
because why?
And my guess is if they had them, they would have picked off somebody.
Well, see, that's the problem now, though. Like, what happened today in the SEC took us such a big step closer to having a 13-team SEC, 13-bid SEC, because Vanderbilt won. We had Arkansas win. We had Oklahoma win. All three of those teams beat ranked opponents that were quad one wins.
But that's different from the ACC, which has bubble teams that haven't done much of anything.
SMU lost.
At least these SEC teams got wins in the non-conference.